Hello guys and welcome back to Deadline Tips for the upcoming Matchday 10 in the UCL Fantasy game. Today I'm going to present to you my final team selection for the upcoming Matchday 10. Of course, as per usual, it's not confirmed as I'm going to confirm it live on stream. By the way, tune in for the stream. And I'm going to talk about the best captain options for the upcoming Matchday 10. Of course, they're going to be pretty similar compared to the Matchday 9, but I want to give my thoughts once again and see what we can do. If you want to support me and show your appreciation, help me reach the 5,000 goals subscribers that I've set myself. It's a pretty high number, but hopefully with your help, I'm going to be able to reach it. Now, let's go and see which are the best captains for day 1 in the Matchday 10. The captain options have not changed since the last time when I did it for day 2, but now for day 1, I have my reasoning behind every player. Starting with the Ketelaere against Bruges, Atalanta lost away from home, and now they will be looking to score a lot of goals to get through. And the Ketelaere, being the nailed 90-minute player in UCL, I think is going to be the best reason to go for Atalanta and the best option to go for some of the Atalanta players. I know that it is not something that you may consider, especially with one of the options here in the list, but if you're looking to go for an Atalanta player as a captain or as a transfer in the forward line, the Ketelaere is your guy. 5.8, I think you can afford him pretty easily. You can basically sell anyone that you have in your team and you will be getting him. Next up, we move to Pulisic. I still believe that he's the best option from AC Milan. You can go for Leao, you can go for Jimenez, you can go for Theo Hernandez, but I still think that Pulisic makes the list as the top captain. Of course, you are completely free to disagree with that opinion, but in my opinion, this is the way to do it and this is the way to go. 7.5, again, it's pretty reasonable price and you can afford him pretty easily. Feyenoord at home, that's going to be, like Ibrahimovic said, a final for the Milan team, so I would say that they will be looking to score a lot of goals. And Pulisic, with the form that he has been this season and the qualities that he has shown, he can be the LeBron James of football and score some goals. Then we move into the fixtures from Olise and Kane. This is a home fixture versus Celtic here. You can go for a very differential captain in Olise. Of course, this is day 1 and you can afford it. But if you like to go safe and sound for the first day, Harry Kane is your option. Why do I believe that those two players are the best? First of all, Harry Kane, his name speaks for himself. I think that 10.7 million, you already have him in your squad. He plays Celtic at home. He's hungry for goals. He's hungry for trophies. He's hungry for everything possible. And being on penalties and being the focal point of their attack, I think Harry Kane is going to get a pretty good score. Moving into Olise, he scored a wonderful goal in the first fixture and he got a good 30 minutes rest against Celtic. That's being said, Olise of course is easily interchangeable with Coman, with Gnabry, with Musiala, with Müller, depending on what they want to do. But in my eyes, Olise is still the best midfielder that you can go for, especially because of his price and especially because of his potential. Of course, Musiala has a great potential as well and probably is a better footballer overall. But in UCL, I don't know why company looks to sometimes rotate Musiala, while Olise has been a staple in his team. Of course, day 1 is a day for risks. Last time I didn't take one. I went with Dembele, which was the boring pick. It paid off, but if you're looking to go for a cheeky differential, I think the Ketelaere, Olise, Pulisic are going to be in that thought process. Of course, you can go for Rafa Leao, you can go for Etegui, you can go for Musiala, you can go for Jimenez from Milan. You can go from Benfica player. Of course, there are a lot of options, but at the end of the day, I still believe that Harry Kane will be the most feasible option here, and Olise being close second. Going into day 2, we have pretty similar options like last week, but I've interchanged one player. Starting with Girassi because I want to get him out of the way. This guy has been scoring goals for fun. Of course, there are a lot of worries that he will be rested a little bit because they are basically through into the next round, and that in my eyes is a very reasonable option. But I still believe that he is an amazing option to go for into your team. He did well, he scored goal, he made an assist, he got the 3 bonus points, and he's facing Sporting at home, where Dortmund have been really cooking in my eyes, and I really believe that he is a reasonable option to go for the captain pick. Of course, he's the worst of the bunch in my eyes because the other 3 players are playing in better teams and have higher qualities, let's be real. Let's start with Hakimi. He faces Brest. Last time around he played more of a central role and still he provided an assist. So if he becomes more of a right wing back and he starts bombarding upwards, he will be amazing. Of course, captaining a defender on day 2 is a very risky game, and one considered goal and everything is done basically, unless he scores, of course. But yeah, the clean sheet is everything for a defender, and against Brest I think Hakimi will score good points, but at the end of the day I think it's too risky to go, and he's my 3rd favorite option here. Moving into Vini Jr. Last time around it was Mbappe that I was promoting. This time around I'm taking Vini Jr. I will admit it, I made a mistake going for Mbappe over Vini, because Vini is the UCL man for Real Madrid, and him being the UCL man brings a lot of points to the table. 11.2, it's a lot of money, but with the fixtures and with the budgets that we're having, I think that the millions are not an issue for anyone, and you can build the best feasible squad there. 11.2, once again, a lot of money. City, hard team to penetrate, but the right back for them is not in a good place. Who are they going to pick? One, Rico Willis, who played okayish. Akanji is injured, just got his surgery. Mateus Nunes is another option that they can go for. Probably John Stones, maybe an option, and hit tucking in inside. Of course, that is a reasonable option, but still I don't think any of those players are on the level of Vini Jr. Kyle Walker was the only player that was keeping him at bay from City, and now that he's gone, I should have went with Vini, of course, but I wanted to do a little bit different things and I got hurt by it. Still, I think Vini Jr. is an amazing captaincy option for day 2 in the UCL fixtures. Of course, the best pick here in my opinion is still Dembele. He got a rest in the league and now he's going to be firing full cylinders up ahead against Brest at home. So I think that Dembele speaks for himself. This guy has been the best guy in form since the start of the calendar year. He's had something like 15 goals. What an absurd number I'm saying there. And Brest is one of his favorite opponents. So I think that he can do some wonders and can do an amazing performance here. Of course, you can always pick Mbappe, who is an option to be a captain. You can go for Rodrigo. You can go even for Bellingham if you want to risk it, depending on which Real player you have. Barcola, I would not pick. Probably Nuno Mendes, not Vitinha. Also, from if I'm looking from PSG, it's Dembele or Hakimi. From Sporting, you can go, of course, for the likes of Gyökeres, but we will know if he starts, so that would be a good option for you. Of course, you can go for Kolo Muani. You can risk it with a defender like Gatti, but I really do believe those players here are the bread and butter for day 2. Yes, some of them are risky options, but Guirassy, you know if he's starting. Hakimi, if you want a defender, Vini, best attacking option from Real, and Dembele probably the best option for me. My options for now are most probably going to be Kane and Dembele, but we're going to lock that on the deadline stream, which you don't forget to tune in and say hi to the chat. Here is the team that I've set myself to start the fixture and the match day with. In goal, once again, going to go quickly through the team, explaining why I keep those players or what are the moves that I make. Of course, you see the full lineup, but if you want some explanation, please keep it up with me and I will give the proper explanation. Starting with Neuer and Di Gregorio, I don't feel like doing any goalkeeper transfers. Of course, I admit it, I made a mistake not going for Donnarumma as of yet, but still I believe that there is a lot of potential in the Neuer pick. Against Celtic in the Bayern home stadium, of course, Kim might probably be a better move if I was not having any Bayern Munich players, but I do have one, and with that being the case, I'm not going to do anything in that sense, and I'm going to keep Neuer. I expect Kim to outscore him massively, but if I manage to get a clean sheet, I will be more than happy. Di Gregorio is my reserved option, but as I already mentioned, I really do believe that Juve and PSV will be the biggest surprise of the match day 10, and I really do expect PSV to cause them issues. I don't know if they're going to proceed, but I have a feeling that it's not going to be that an easy game for Juve, but still, Neuer, day 1, Di Gregorio, day 2. I have keepers for both days. Happy days. We proceed forward with it. Then we move to the 3 defenders starting. No, 5 of the defenders start at home. So let's start with the 3 teams that I have defenders from. PSG, Atalanta, Benfica. I think amazing performance by a lot of the teams will be expected in that sense. 5 of the teams play at home, so basically 5 of the players play at home, 1 of the keepers play at home, so I will have 6 players playing at home, and the home fixtures are always better for the UCL games, as there is a big home support. And as you can see, most of the teams that played at home got some result, even if they were not expected to. For example, like Bruges. For example, like Feyenoord, they got the result thanks to the fans. Of course, teams like Brest, teams like Monaco, they didn't do it, but it's not always the case. But still, it was not that easy game for Benfica, even though they were with 1 man up. Still, starting with the PSG players, it's Nuno Mendes and Hakimi. I'm keeping them. I'm not going to touch that part of the squad. I think the defense is okay to invest, but I'm looking more of improving the other parts of the team. As you can see, the transfers that I'm going to most probably do. At the end of the day, I think that Nuno Mendes and Hakimi, if they overlap the wingers and start shooting and start coming for the second ball, is going to be an amazing performance by them. And I expect some attacking returns from both of them. So even if they concede a goal, which I highly doubt, I think that they're going to do amazingly well. Otamendi has been one of the stellar players this year, and me finding a good center back this year is something that I'm really proud of. I started with Schlotterbeck and Chan, who did pretty alright. Kim was in my lineup, who did pretty alright. Now I moved to Otamendi, who is doing pretty alright. If I keep going with those good center backs, I think I have a pretty good chance to climb the ranks, because finding that gem between all of the players, it's good. Otamendi was my differential, and oh, by the way, what a performance he did. Of course, Jimisti and Hien disappointed me a lot. In the first fixture, we will not know if they start, but the good thing here is that they play on day 1. If something happens, I can always sub them off, and that will be the end of the round and at the end of their performance in my team, and then we'll proceed forward with something else. I cannot wait to put Karneski in my side if they proceed forward, but let's first see what they are going to do. Still, Hien and Jimisti, I honestly believe that they are pretty solid players and are going to do pretty well. Moving into midfield, I'm taking out 2 of my players. The players that I'm taking out are Barcola and Bakayoko. I will tell you why. So let's start with Barcola. I think that PSG will play well, but I don't know to what extent they will go full speed ahead. And me leaving 4 PSG players to be reliant on in the day 2 feels a little bit risky. Of course, I can be mistaken, and Barcola might be the best player to own for that day, but I honestly highly doubt it. Going for Dembele in their attack, being their center forward, is going to be pretty enough for me. Having the 2 overlapping wing backs to attack. Basically, I've got a left winger, right winger, and a center forward without owning more than 1 midfielder from them. So Dembele makes the list while Barcola is leaving the way. He leaves the way for a guy like Pasalic. I know that a lot of you are wondering why I'm going for him when Lookman is back in the squad. Yes, Lookman is back, but I don't expect him to be involved for more than 60 minutes, to be fair. Well, Pasalic, I feel like this guy will be involved a lot. Of course, I can be talking completely gibberish and to be proven wrong at the end of the day, and Lookman to outscore everyone and Pasalic to be awful, but it's still day 1 and I can always replace him. That's the beauty of those picks. Like last time around Bakayoko, this time around Pasalic, I can just take them out and be done with it, and I put my players in. Of course, I expect players from day 1 like Neuer, like Otamendi, like the 2 Atalanta defenders to perform, so I will have to remove someone to include all of the other players, and Pasalic, it's not that bad if that's the way I go. Of course, if he gets some amazing points, it would be really good, but yeah, I'm just relying on a cheeky 1 week punt, and probably that will be the last time when this is going to be feasible, so why the hell not? Then the next transfer was Bakayoko from PSV away to Olise. As well, Bakayoko playing on day 2 and him not being nailed anymore. I don't know what happened there and how the hell he did not play. I'm replacing him with Olise. Of course, Olise can blank and do absolutely nothing, but for the off chance that he doesn't, I want to have another Bayern Munich players. As already mentioned, he got a good 30 minutes rest in UCL, then against Bayer Leverkusen, so it's now time for him to play the 90 minutes, and against Celtic, if he plays 90 minutes and performs well, I will be more than happy. Then we have Pulisic against Feyenoord, one more player playing on day 1, which is pretty important. I know that Pulisic has not performed well in the first fixtures in Matchday 9, but once again, if he doesn't perform, he can leave the squad for the day and more players will come in his place. That's the beauty of the UCL game, because you can do subs and we are all happy with the subs. Then moving to Foden, he remains into the squad solely because I don't know what's the situation with Haaland. We haven't got any confirmation at the time of recording. If you see some, please notify me, but still I think Foden is an amazing player and he can light every field and he can always be an option. He earns penalties, he gets assists. I think he starts this fixture unlike the first one, as Grealish is now injured, and I really do believe Foden will be utilized. Even though it's away from home, I think Manchester City gaining up some momentum after destroying Newcastle in the league, Foden will be an okay option to do. And if I have a lot of performing players on day 1, Foden may not even touch the field. Harry Kane against Celtic, the only forward that I have that plays in day 1. He faces Celtic and he's going to be my captain. I'm going for the boring picks this week, as I really don't... If I had Kim, probably Kim would have been my captain, but now I don't have Kim, so it's going to be Harry Kane. I don't know what to say. He needs to do something more, because the points that he has been returning so far after his big performance in match day 1 are basically non-existent, but I still want him in my team and for him to score goals for me. Then we have 2 forwards again playing at home. They're not the ideal forwards, but I really do think I do have issues more in midfield compared to in attack. Mbappe still can outperform Vini. It's very unlikely, but if he scores 1, I'll be more than happy. He may not even come to the field. It all depends on what is going to happen in day 1. Guirassy, I know that there are a lot of sayings that Dortmund will rotate, will do this, will do that, will do this, will do that. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I still think that Guirassy is an amazing pick. He has been always utilized in the UCL and he has not disappointed yet. I suspect him to outperform a lot of the players that are rumored to score a lot of points this week also. Moving from the opponent into the dates, as you can see, I have Neuer, then Hien, Gimisti and Otamendi. Then I have Ulisse, Pulisic, Pasalic and Hein. Those are 8 players that are playing on day 1, and that is a beautiful number that I am very happy with. Of course, it would mean that 7 players will be waiting on the bench, and if I have, let's say, only 5 to include, I will be happy. If I have to use all of the 7, I will be happy as well, as I can use the players and look up to the day 2 of the match day. Of course, a lot of things can change, a lot of things can happen, a lot of the players may not be used at all, but it will all depend on the performances of day 1. You're going to say you have 4 million, but honestly, apart from Bellingham, who I may want, or Vini instead of Mbappe, but that's not spending money. Like I don't know what to do with the money, and I don't want to spend the money just because to have spent the money. I think there are some very good cheap players this week, and I think that they can do some serious damage. Of course, Lookman is going to be a very big threat because Pasalic may be rotated, and if that's the case, I will put my hands down and say I was mistaken. But if in the off case he is not, I would be looking like a genius. Let's see which one of the 2 will be. Of course, leave down in the comment section what do you think about my team selection. I watched the news, I watched a lot of other content, but I still think that Pasalic is a good option for me, and I will try to risk the week with starting with him. But if he doesn't work, he's just off the squad. Special shout out to the members of the channel: Seth, Florin, Zach, Oscar, Papas, Kauser, and Hem. Thanks so much for contributing to the channel. It means the world to me. If you guys want to become members and earn some perks, you can go down below and join. These are the prices that you have to pay in order to unlock a specific level. For each level, there are more and more perks. If you cannot afford it or you don't want to spend money, just click that subscribe button. It helps me a lot. I'm trying to reach the 5k number. I am 2.2k, more than 2.2k away from it, so let's see where this number will lead us. Of course, every subscriber matters, and every new person that joins the community will be more than welcome. There is a Discord link down in the description if you have any questions, and I'm not seeing your comments, but I am always reading the comments. There is the league code if you want to join the league. Of course, a lot of other benefits if you join as a member, but liking, subscribing, and commenting and joining the league is completely for free. So if you want to be part of the community, just do those free things. Thanks so much for watching. Of course, there is a deadline stream today that you will not want to miss, because we will talk a lot about the things. Of course, there are a lot of obvious things that will happen, a lot of unobvious things that will not happen. So yeah, just come, say hi, and we can have a lot of fun. Thanks so much for watching. But for now, guys, I'm heading out. Bye.